G'day traders, Stacey Berg from Stacey Berg Trading. Daily currency levels for the pound crosses Monday, May 4th, 2020. Big week for scheduled news. Today we have the EU economic forecasts. That's the only major news event. The rest of the week we have the RBA rate statement tomorrow for the Aussie dollar, the Canadian trade balance, New Zealand employment and unemployment on Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment change on Wednesday, inflation for New Zealand on Thursday, the Bank of England on Thursday as well, so big week for the pound. Unemployment claims and of course non-farm payrolls on Friday, and unemployment for the Canadian dollar. RBA monetary policy statement as well on Friday, so a huge week for news. Today, starting off with our pound Aussie, the market had a very, very strong move up through the second upper 250 pip box. Friday tested that upper boundary at 9,500 and briefly popped above before pulling back this morning. We have stops below Friday's swing low at 9,400 and of course above the high of the week at 95.34. When we look at our, we'll just pen this in, when we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see that the market has broken above Friday's U.S. session highs. One push, two push, three pushes before pulling back inside underneath of the 9,500 level. In that first 3-hour window, painting a high and low and then extending it out into that next 3-hour window. Currently possibly retesting the lows of the day as we head into the Europe Open. This market could retest Friday's U.S. session lows and all the way back down to Friday's Asian session lows as well. There is a fair amount of room that this market could fall through. If it was to hit the stops on the bottom side and reverse, we would need to see it take out that swing high from the second, 3rd-hour window and retest the double zeros towards the high of the day. Currently, this market has possibly put in a peak formation for this session. And so if we retest these session lows, this market could head back down towards Friday's U.S. session lows. Currently inside the high and low from Friday. Next up, we have our pound Canadian. And again, just looking at our 4-hour chart, similar, we had stops taken out from 2 weeks ago, clearing out last week's high of the week as well, putting a pin up top for consolidating into this morning's session. We have stops below Friday night's swing low at 75.47 and of course above Friday's high at 7,700. There's a lot of room where this market could come back to stop hunt traders who are long off the bottom. When we look at our 15-minute chart, just take this off, we can see where the market has possibly put in a peak formation on a 1, 2, 3 in the U.S. session before pulling back on the lower double top on Friday night. Going into consolidation, working the high of the day in the Asian session after rolling over, and then reversing underneath of 7,600 this morning and briefly retesting that in that second, 3rd-hour window before hitting the stops at the low of the day. Currently in consolidation. If this market was to break through the lows again and possibly start to head towards Friday's U.S. session lows, as you can see, we have a bit of space where this market could fall and retest the breakout traders from Thursday's U.S. session longs. If this market was to possibly retest the high of the day, we would need to see it get above the double zeros and retest that upper boundary. Above double zeros and retest that upper boundary from Friday's breakout. Next up, we have the pound Swiss. And again, this market had a big move down on Friday, coming off of a peak formation. When we look at our 4-hour chart, we can see that at the open of the day, we had a pin hammer. I'll just open this up. We had a pin hammer print, and the measured move of this reversal swing low and swing high takes us down to this 1980 range. The market possibly retesting all the way through to the breakout lows and the lows of last week. We have a 15-minute chart that could possibly be a second day continuation trade following through on Friday's big move. You can see there's a lot of room for this market to fall. If it was to find support currently sideways at the 2000 level, we would need to see that market pull above the zeros with a retest and then a retest of Friday's swing highs. Otherwise, we see this 3-hour high-low session and then pulling back into consolidation. The market has worked up towards the high once. We could see that one more time into the Europe Open and come off the zeros towards the low of the day for a measured move. We are inside of that double zero box, and this breakthrough pullback could be a consolidation around the zeros for the move back down. We see the pound yen next. Again, we'll split this. Similar, we had a big move down off the move up Thursday. This market has dropped down and gone into consolidation. We have stops down at that 32.50 level and at the lows of last week and the week previous, down at 31.90. This market could, the 1, 2, 3 up is a half Batman style of stop hunt. This market could easily retest the breakout lows and even retesting the swing lows down towards March's lows at 30.60. When we look at our 15-minute chart, again, we've broken below Friday's U.S. session lows and Thursday's U.S. session lows and gone into consolidation underneath of that 3,300 level. We have stops below Thursday's London session and the low of the day, as well as Wednesday's U.S. session swing lows and overall low of the week. This market could also be a second day continuation of the move from Friday's high, Thursday and Friday's high. Currently below the double zeros. Next up we have the pound New Zealand. And again, another pair that had a very strong move up. When we look at our 4-hour chart, we're in the upper part of the 250 pip box. We briefly touched near the stops from last week's high this morning. We have stops above 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago up top. This market had a very large move up. It's possible it could retest at least the 500 level box and possibly even fall as low as coming back and retesting the breakout. This 500 could be a significant level of support for a retest of the highs of the week. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see again this market is inside of Friday's U.S. session high and low. It briefly tested that this morning with a stop hunt at the open of the Asian session before pulling back 50 pips and then extending it out further in that next 3-hour window. So currently we do have stops at the low of the day, the low of the Asian session. This market is working the low at that 650 level. It is possible we could have a retest back up towards the highs. If this market was to take out the low, it would need to break the double zeros for us to be considering it as a continuation move down through Friday's overall lows and Thursday's swing lows. Currently we are at the 650 level inside of the Asian high and low. And lastly, our British pound. We'll look at our 4-hour chart. We similar to the pound yen, pound Swiss, we had a nice stop hunt, 1, 2, 3 pin to the high before falling over in the half Batman style stop hunt. Consolidating after a move down this morning, 1, 2, 3. This market could easily fall through and retest the swing lows of Friday down at 23.88 and maybe even down towards Thursday's swing lows and low of the day down at 22.47. When we look at our 15-minute chart, again we had a very strong move down in the U.S. session. We've traded below the extended range this morning in the rollover, and we are below Thursday's U.S. session. We've gone into consolidation and briefly tested the stops below Thursday's London lows and are possibly headed towards taking out the lows of the day and maybe even the lows of the week. We're below 50. This market could just fall and pull back for a measured move down or do an extended stop hunt to the low before giving us a move possibly back up towards the swing high at 24.50. Traders, it's Monday. Focus on your process, master your craft, be relentless, focused, and do whatever it takes to master your craft. Cut your losses, ride your winners, stock the best trade setups. If it doesn't look simple and you can't see it really clearly, just wait. There'll be another one in the next session or on another pair. We look at the 6 pairs. There's always 1 or 2 that are really ideal setups. Be patient, be disciplined, have a great trading week, and may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacy Burke from Stacy Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at stacyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.